Hi, my name is Bente, I'm the Norse witch, and this week's video is about the Norse goddess Freyja. Let us, as the first act in this video, light Freyja's candle for her, shall we? I will put it down next to me. And now let's hop into the video. First, I will give you some general information about Freyja as a goddess. Afterwards, I will tell you a little bit about how I personally experience working with Freyja. And in the end, I will give you some ideas for offerings for her. So who is Freyja? Freyja is a Norse goddess. She is one of the Vanir, but together with her father Njörð and her twin brother Freyr, she's living with the Aesir. About who Freyja's mother is, we don't really know a lot, I feel like. I have read different things in different sources. I have heard that her mother was her father's sister, so some kind of Vanir goddess, unnamed. But I have also read that supposedly Skadi is her mother because Skadi was married to Njörð. But we don't really know. Freyja has a husband who's called Odr, about which we don't really know that much. So there are also speculations whether Odr is actually Odin. So that would mean that Freyja and Odin are married. But Odin is also married to Frigg. But there are also speculations whether Frigg and Freyja are actually one and the same deity. So that is kind of confusing. Odr left Freyja after they had their two daughters together, who are called Knoss and Geirmunni. I hope I pronounced that correctly, because especially the name Knoss, I will put it up somewhere. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. I tried to pronounce it in an Icelandic way, but I don't know if it's maybe actually Knoss. I don't know. But both these names translate to treasure. Because her husband Odr left Freyja, Freyja cried and cried, and it's said that these tears that fell down to Midgard, they turned into amber. So if you find a piece of amber somewhere in Midgard, then that is supposed to be one of Freyja's tears. Freyja's name translated means lady, just as her twin brother's name Freyr means lord. So Freyja is the lady of the Vanir. She lives in Folkvangr, and her hall is called Sessrumnir, where she actually receives half of the slain warriors that are dying in battle. The Valkyries, she is the queen of the Valkyries. The Valkyries, they kind of collect half of the fallen warriors for her, and she actually has the first choice. So Freyja is the one who chooses first which of the warriors, the fallen warriors, she wants for herself, and the rest of the warriors, the other half that Freyja did not want, they go to Odin. So that kind of shows how powerful Freyja is. Freyja has the first choice in which warriors she wants for herself, and then the rest goes to Odin. Freyja is described as the most beautiful of the goddesses, and that's also why there are a lot of stories about giants, for example, who try to steal Freyja or who want Freyja as a prize, anything like that. There are a lot of stories about someone who wants to marry Freyja. Freyja is also a very powerful sorceress, and actually the one who taught Odin Seidr, which is one kind of Norse magic. Freyja had lots of lovers, so she has a pretty active sexual life, but she always chooses who she wants to have a relationship with. And actually no one owns her, not even her husband. She's a very free spirit, she's very independent and autonomous, and no one can tell her what to do. Because she's so fiercely independent and just badass and autonomous, she is a symbol of feminine power. As I said, she really does what she wants, she says what she wants, and no one can tell her what to do, because she stands up for herself, and if she doesn't like something, she will let you know. Freyja rides a chariot that's drawn by cats, and she has the most beautiful necklace called Brisingamen, which was made by the dwarves. She also owns a falcon cloak that lets her shapeshift into a falcon. So all in all, you can say that Freyja is a goddess of love, of sensuality, of sex, of war, of passion, and of magic. She's associated with cats, with birds of prey, especially falcons, with the Seidr workers' staff, with gold, and with amber. So that's it for like general information about Freyja. But what are my personal experiences with her? And I just realized that the sun is kind of gone by now and half of my face is kind of dark. But I don't really want to set up studio lights, so I'm sorry, one half of my face will be pretty dark by now, but well. So, my experiences with Freyja. I can definitely say that she is fierce, that she is badass. If I would have to describe her as tarot cards, I think it would be the Queen of Wands and also the Empress, I think. Maybe the combination of those two, because she's just fierce. For me, she feels very fiery, and she will definitely tell you what she wants from you. She will tell you what to do, and she will also tell you if you did something wrong. I recently really procrastinated doing something for her that I promised her, and she really let me know about it. It wasn't really fun, but that's just how it is. She won't sugarcoat things. She will tell you just straight in your face what she thinks. I personally don't really feel like she's a motherly deity. I don't really experience her as that. That's maybe for me personally the difference between Frigg and Freyja. Like Frigg for me feels more motherly, while Freyja is more like I don't know, if you would want to see it as a like triple goddess thing, I would say that Freyja is more the maiden and Frigg is more the mother. Although Freyja has children, but her daughters aren't really that important, I feel like, in the Eddas. So I feel like she's more about being passionate and being like sexual and beautiful and fierce and independent and autonomous. That's more what she feels like for me. I don't really get motherly feelings from her or for her. Personally, she really helps me with my self-confidence, but also with like sex-related issues. And she actually is the one who made me go to therapy to battle my social anxiety. So she's kind of empowering me as a woman to like do my thing and to be self-confident and to not be ashamed of who I am and what I do. And I feel like that's just a general thing that she does. I have talked to some people who have worked with her for at least some time, and it was always kind of centered around the topic of self-confidence, speaking up for yourself, don't letting other people push you around. At the moment, because of Freyja or for Freyja, I'm getting into Seidr magic. As I said, she is kind of the goddess of Seidr magic, and she's the one who taught Odin how to do Seidr. So she really wants me to get into that, which for me completely makes sense. So maybe if you want to learn Seidr magic, then maybe you could work with Freyja for that cause. Yeah, that's it for my personal experiences. If you have further questions, then drop them in the comments and I will try to answer them. Lastly, I want to get into offerings, because that's always a question that I get is, I want to give an offering to this deity, what can I give them as an offering? I just want to give you some ideas. Everything that's related to cats is great. I have, for example, 2 brass figurines that look like cats on her altar. I gave her an amber cat, and amber is also something that she really loves. Falcon feathers, if you get around to some falcon feathers, awesome. I don't, unfortunately. I would love to have some for her, but I don't. Gold also. Like if you want to make a candle for her, for example, maybe choose a golden candle. Mine is golden, she loves it. In general, everything that is pretty and beautiful, maybe even jewelry, anything golden and nice and pretty, she really appreciates. She actually asked me specifically for flowers on her altar, so I regularly give her like fresh cut flowers. But I also have a candle that looks like a rose on her altar for her, and also dried flowers, like a small bouquet of dried flowers that is just on her corner of my deity altar all the time. And she seems to like that. Other things that I feel like would be good for offerings for her are anything that kind of has to do with fertility, so maybe even like eggs or bees and honey, and everything also that's sweet, like honey, for example, or mead, or like sweet, fruity wines, I feel like she also appreciates, and wine in general. And lastly, if you don't want to give her physical offerings, but you would prefer doing something for her, then anything that improves your self-confidence would be great. Anything that has to do with self-love, anything that maybe improves your relationship with sex, or even maybe like giving her sexual energy as an offering, maybe by having sex or like masturbating. Learning seder, I mean, I have to do that for her because she asked me to, so I bet if you do that voluntarily, that would be even better. Learning how to speak up for yourself, that's something that I have to learn definitely, so that will probably be an offering to Freyja, that I just learn how to stand up for myself and speak up if something bothers me. And lastly, becoming independent. She's like the independent and autonomous goddess who doesn't like let other people tell her what to do. So becoming independent and autonomous and not letting other people push you around, that is also something that you could learn to do for Freyja as an offering. And that's all that I have for you today. If you have any further questions, as I said, drop them in the comments and I will try to answer them. As always, feel free to subscribe and give a thumbs up, and maybe follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!